Hi guys, this is Jason coming to you from my home shop here in Napanee, Indiana. We got back from the dyno and looks like we were having some fueling issues, some fuel delivery issues. So we're going to be addressing those in this video. We're going to go from that fast throttle body with the injectors in it down to multi-port injection in the intake. So we're gonna be doing some. We're gonna replace the intake. So we gotta get the intake out of there. We're gonna have to change up our fuel lines, and then also we're going to have to wire in those injectors. So those are the three things we got to do. So yeah, let's get up on the car and I'll show you a little closer as to what we're doing. So guys, what we're going to be changing is instead of using these injectors in the throttle body, what we're going to do is we're going to change this intake out, and it's going to be the same intake, but in these ports right here, it's going to have it's going to be drilled for injectors down there on both sides. So we can buy the same intake but with the multi-port. So that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to take this intake out, we're going to put that intake in, we're going to put 8 injectors in there. We're going to unplug these injectors and plug in the 8, and we're going to take our fuel lines from here, and instead of running them to there, we'll run them to the 2 fuel rails that are going to be on the intake. So that's the basic gist of what we got to do. So step 1 is going to be tearing it down and getting this intake out of the way. So that's what I'm going to do first. And just like that, guys, the intake comes right off. There's 10 bolts that hold the intake to the heads, and there's 4 bolts that hold the throttle body to the intake. Take those 14 bolts out, and wada bing, wada boom, comes right out. I'll clean that up a little bit while we're in here. I mean, there's some stuff that could be cleaned up, so we're going to clean that up just a little bit, and yeah. We're going to get to the wires. So on this harness, on this harness, let me get them separated here. On this harness right here, I have my 4 injectors, and I'm going to need 8. So I'm going to have to, I made that a separate harness all the way back to here. It goes through the firewall by itself. So that'll be pretty simple to get that guy, uninsulated, unloomed, and then I'm gonna have to find the 4 wires that I need to add into the ECU and get them through the firewall. So that's what I'm gonna work on next. Here we go. Well, I got those stripped back, and what I'm looking for is I have a piece of paper like this that not only has the pinouts, but it's like this, and it actually tells you the color of the wires. So I need to find this piece of paper for the JB one, so I know what color wires I need to add back to the harness, and then I can also tell which injectors those go to. So I'm gonna go get that and find the wires, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, after a little bit of internet sleuth detecting, I figured out what color wires go to which injectors, and I went over to my bench and wada bing wada boom, there they are. So now I just have to get them in the connector at those locations. So let's get those pinned in to our handy dandy connector, and then we can route them. So let's get to it. Okay guys, now that I have my 8 injector wires through the firewall and up here in the intake area, I also have some positive wires up here too that are running over to my MSD relay. Next step is honestly going to be putting that intake in there. Get that intake in there, and then we can start routing those wires to their final destination. And now that we know where they all go, and we got them in the right pins in the ECU, should be pretty simple once we get that intake here. So I think that's going to be the next thing. This is going to be one of these multi-day projects, so I'll meet you back here tomorrow. Okay guys, welcome back to day 2. This is the intake that we're taking out, and this is the one that we're putting in. As you can see, it's the same intake. It just has multi-port fuel injection, and I've already went ahead and put the injectors in it because I wanted to make sure that was all going to be good to go before I started this video today. So now that we have the injectors in, the fuel rails on, we can go ahead and start reassembling this. We can put this guy back where we took that guy out of. So yeah, it's kind of exciting. So let's go. Ta-da. Guys, that went on there pretty quick. I think that looks really good. I really want to put this throttle body on here and look at it, but I really feel like I should probably do this wiring next. So I'm just going to put the studs in and the spacers on. Man, that's going to look good. I always buy extra gaskets, and this is one of those times I'm really glad I had it. That other one's like welded onto that intake. Yeah guys, that's not bad. I mean, it's already going back together. I think that's as good as you could ask for, you know? Let's go throw these guys up there, just so I don't lose them. I think we're gonna leave this throttle body off for the minute. Man, that guy looks good. What do you think, guys? Thumbs up or thumbs down? So the next thing we got to get on to is wiring. So I got to pull those wires out and get them to their home. I don't have the connectors yet, but they'll be here tomorrow, and so will the hose ends and everything I need to do my plumbing. So what I really need is I need to get those 8 wires over there to their homes, and then I need to get red positive wires to each one of these as well. And I can pretty much make that harness up, but I just got to leave it not connected. So yeah, let's jump on that. Well guys, that's going to end it for tonight. We basically got the intake in, and we got our harness pretty much made except for connectors. Right here on 2468, we got white, purple, green, blue. And if we look over here, white, purple, green, blue. Over here on 1357, we got gray, beige, pink, and orange. And we look at the sheet, and yeah, we got gray, beige, pink, orange. So when the connectors come in tomorrow, I can throw the connectors on those, and those will be talking to the ECU. And hoses should also come in tomorrow, so we'll take care of this. We'll move those hoses over to those, and yeah, we should be able to, hopefully we should be able to fire it up tomorrow. So I think that's going to be it for today. That was a lot of progress. That looks really cool. Yeah, let's see if we can't fire this thing up tomorrow. Okay guys, so I got home a bit early, and FedEx ain't quite dropped my stuff off yet. So I'm gonna go through and change the software real quick. So I'm just gonna open a file. I want to connect to the ECU, which I have plugged in. Oh, looks like I'm gonna have to do my update, and it's telling me that a bunch of stuff is here. I want to get this from the ECU, so this is all the stuff Nub's changed. Okay, so I want to file, I'm going to save that global. That's actually got a dyno on it, so let's just save that. It's just telling me some of my IOs are mapped. So we saved that locally. So now we want to disconnect from this guy. We want to go into here. Actually, I want to go File, Open Global File, and let's grab that. Let's grab that dyno one. So now we're in that dyno one. I want to go to these ECU parameters. We're going to change it from TBI to multiport. We're going to pick the injectors that we have, which are those right there. And this is saying that we need to save that to there. So I'm going to say file. I'm going to save this global file as Jason Burnout Elco. We're going to get rid of some of this, and we're going to call it multiport. We'll call it multiport 1. Let's give it a big M. Yeah, I know some IOs aren't mapped. So now I'm going to want to link that to that. And the only thing that saved, the only thing that changed was that system, which is my multiport and my term. So I'm going to say send that to the ECU. So it's saying that I have to cycle the ECU. Okay. So I can just take that offline. I can flip the switch. So I flip the switch, I hit link, so it passed and it ran. So there we go. So now the ECU is now updated for the multiport. Well, updating that kind of went a little quicker than I thought. My parts still aren't here, so I'm just going to drain the fuel out of these fuel lines so that I can just start getting that put on, and then I can get to making fuel lines when they get here. UPS is here. Woohoo! We got them, guys. They got here right in time. Okay, I was going to do connectors first, but I think I'm just going to switch plans and get on those hoses. Okay guys, so I think that came out really good. As you can see, we came right off the fuel pump up here in the front. We went to a Y. I kind of like this Y better because it's parallel. And then those two shoot up into the front ends of the rail. I think that's nice and slick looking right there, all nice and tucked together, kind of low. And then they come to the back of the rails. And back here we just 90 out to a 45 into our pressure regulator. This one does a 180 out, and it comes in up here at the front of our pressure regulator. And we had to move our pressure sensor to the side here, and I needed to 90 it down. So I think that came out real nice and clean. That's all tucked in here. I would like to check it for leaks, but those injectors are on the same power as my pump, and I'm going to just hold off turning that on until I get those connectors on. So we are down to connectors, guys. Let's get to those connectors. Okay, boys, that's one wiring harness complete. So that checks off all the tasks. Now all we really got to do is hit the fuel switch on this and see if we're leaking. Oh boy. Definitely making some gurgly noises. Wonder if she's just getting the air out of the O system. I don't feel anything wet yet, guys. Well, let's let that run for just a minute. Let's keep on feeling on these. We can adjust the fuel pressure regulator while we're right here. But yeah, let's just keep touching these for about a minute. Make sure we ain't leaking. Got a feeling that's not gonna be good if it is. But yeah. She seems to be going. Well, guys, I think that's going to be it. That's a successful test fire of the new multi-port system. Super excited. Everything went according to plan. Everything fell into place. I tested it for leaks there. I let it run the pumps for about a minute and a half. I climbed in the car and cranked the starter over. It built oil pressure, and as soon as I flicked the ignition switch, man, it lit right off. Sounds really healthy. I mean, that thing is like extra loud. That tune that Nub's got in it's really working. One of the things that I didn't have before is a little temperature gun, and you saw me hit those cylinders with the temperature gun to make sure I got temperature in all those cylinders. All the cylinders got temperature in them. So we're hitting on 8. We're now spraying fuel right down the valve on 8 of them, and yeah, it's working good. So that's going to conclude this project. We successfully got away from a throttle body and got to multi-port fuel injection. We had to replace the intake. We had to rewire the ECU for the more injectors. And we had to plumb for it, and you know, everything kind of came out as planned. It doesn't always happen that way, so when it does, you got to take those wins. I'm gonna take this win, and yeah, thanks for cheering for me, guys. Thanks for rooting me on and leaving comments and whatnot down below, and go watch some of our other videos. There's a lot of videos on this Elco in the list. I couldn't be more happy. So till next time, guys.